The banana zone is that period in crypto markets which you would call altcoin season. It's when everything just starts going vertical. Now, it always comes in the US election year because of this cycle, which is the Bitcoin halving cycle, which is this everything code cycle. And it tends to come around the summer or autumn of that year, and things start accelerating and get silly. And when prices start going bananas, and they look like the banana. So there's some charts that I've shown on Twitter where, you can see the banana zone there on the left side of the chart. The prior banana zone is when suddenly you get consolidation, it goes up a bit, consolidates, and then it just goes bananas.
Real Vision founder and CEO Raoul Pal tweeted a banana with the caption, "Bananas come to those who wait." Patience may seem like a silly internet meme, but cryptocurrency investors see it as a sign of limitless opportunities. We developed the term banana zone to represent an approaching cryptocurrency market spike in asset values and frantic trading. The space's incredible opportunities will drive everyone wild. Pal expects the banana zone to open between June and August 2025 and end in June to December 2025. The famed macroeconomist and former Goldman Sachs executive anticipates crypto asset prices and adoption to soar, raising the crypto market size from $2.5 trillion to at least $10 trillion next year. Bitcoin each coin will rise from $68,000 to $270,000. Bitcoin might reach $200,000 in the worst-case situation, but he's more optimistic about Ethereum and Solana, which he expects to outperform both. An Ethereum bull discussed the cryptocurrency bull market and his banana zone goals with Banter host Dan Neer. Pal analyzed how recently allowed Ether ETFs affected the largest altcoin.
For the bananas, no, the bananas that are a function of the tech. In the end, the more people build on it, the more. If you abstract this all away, what are we doing here? We've been given the new layer to the internet, which is the internet of value, the layer of ownership, settlement, all of this stuff. Now, unlike the internet, we couldn't own that. We can own this. So the more it gets used, the more the number go up and the more we profit from it. So it's this huge egalitarian democratic way of distributing a huge amount of wealth to a huge number of people. To put it in perspective, this space is a $2.5 trillion space today. By the end of this cycle, it should be $10 to $15 trillion. By 2032, if you continue growing at these kind of rates, you get to $100 trillion. So there's $97.5 trillion of money on the table, which is why I keep telling people not to fuck this up, because the opportunity is so big. And that is just by owning the new internet, essentially. So that's what this is all about. So there is a banana zone, which is the periods of time where it goes bananas. Then we get the corrective periods, and then we repeat this cycle again. Now, will everything repeat perfectly? Will it be identical? No. There's no guarantees come with this. But it's based on the liquidity cycle. It's based on the macro cycle. It's based on interest rates. It's based on a lot of things.
So let's quickly.
Yeah. So if you think of what liquidity is doing, why the central banks and governments are injecting liquidity, it's to be able to fund the debts. We're in the big debt funding cycle this year, which is why the banana zone happens and why the everything code cycle, all of this happens. They have to fund all the debt. And so they inject liquidity into the system. They do it via rate cuts. They do it via the reverse repo. They do it via quantitative easing. They do it by any mechanism they can to roll the debt. And that's Europe, the US, China, Japan, the UK, everybody, right? So they all do the same game. So they're all teeing up. They've been waiting for inflation to come lower, ready to start hitting the accelerator. Liquidity has been rising, which is why the markets have been rising. But it gets to the phase where it has to go up a lot to finance, $10 trillion of stuff that needs to be financed. So that's all to come. And that tends to happen this year and next year.
In related news, President Biden vetoed the bipartisan bill to repeal SAB 121 on Friday, notifying Congress that he had vetoed the resolution to repeal the SEC's Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, which imposed strict capital requirements on crypto custodians, making it difficult for banks to provide crypto custody services. After the Senate passed a CRA overturning the accounting rule on May 16th, the cryptocurrency industry celebrated. A week later, on May 8th, the White House threatened to veto the resolution and reinstate the accounting rule, stating that repealing it would disrupt the SEC's work to protect investors in crypto asset markets and the financial system. The White House vetoed the resolution on Friday, reversing the considered this judgment by SEC personnel risks undermining the SEC's accounting practices authorities. I am vetoing this resolution because my administration will not support measures that endanger consumers and investors. Given that crypto has become a campaign theme for other candidates like former President Donald Trump, the Biden administration's strong anti-crypto stance is remarkable. Biden noted that Republicans sponsored the resolution. Another significant hint that the president's objection to cryptocurrency is political. During his talk with Rand, he also discussed Ethereum ETFs, how they will compare to Bitcoin ETFs, and most importantly, how they will affect Ether pricing. Here are more interview clips.
How much do your parents care about crypto? That's the age of these people. I mean, they don't really care, but they care about the voters. And look, Coinbase has 108 million accounts, of which right now maybe 10, 12 million are active. As you start going to the banana zone, that starts going from 10 million to 20 million to 30 million. So suddenly it becomes a lot of voters. Add that to the political power of the firms that are involved in the ETFs. And it's now actually a funding issue for these people as well, because if they say the wrong things, then the big financial sponsors for their super PACs start applying pressure. So I think it's much more of an issue than they first realized. And I think Liz Warren made a fatal mistake of saying we're building an anti-crypto army without realizing you're fighting a bunch of degenerate meme artists who are native to the internet, who are distributed everywhere. That's not an easy battle to take on. And I think they're starting to realize that this could be their own goal, because obviously RFK as well is running on a pro crypto format. So the Democrats, they either have to kind of fall in line, or they're going to try and say, we are the party that stands against this. But who does that play to? They're not going to get the swing voter by doing that. And I think this is typical of an election cycle, is suddenly it's going to become super important to these people, just because it's, in an election which is very 50-50, anybody who can swing the vote matters. And so they will get out of their way to find those little pockets of voters. And this is a big pocket of voters. The full crypto army is not in swing yet, right? The full retail is not there. So I think that, yes, those of us who've been around the space and been through the whole bear market, I don't think you're going to win us over. But does the swing voter, the extra 20 or 30 million Coinbase accounts that get reactivated, can they win those back so they're showing they're not opposing them? Look, it's possible. I think that's why the Democrats are giving it a go. It's like, okay, well, maybe these guys will forgive us. A bunch of us won't, but ordinary people, if they don't see it as an issue, then they won't worry about it. They'll play the same Trump 1 minute soundbite backwards and forwards. People who never would have voted for Trump in their entire lives now going, well, I'm going to vote for Trump in a 2 minute soundbite. Is that what he's actually saying when he's on the ground in Philadelphia or in Kansas? No, he's doing targeted messaging at targeted people to tell them what they want to hear. So let's not say that he's campaigning on the crypto bandwagon. He's telling Ryan Selkis and a bunch of people who went to his NFT event, he's telling certain people. So let's just be a little bit aware of the overall surroundings. On the other hand, the Democrats will have approved an ETH ETF. I mean, that is a big deal in its own right. I've been following the ETH Bitcoin chart, and I thought it was going to turn. I thought the ETF was coming. I didn't think it was going to come at that particular moment. But I did. I even put out some sort of update on this. Just happened the weekend before this news came out. So why we're not getting much follow through right now is we're not getting much new inflow into the system. So people are switching a bit of their soul into the ETH and FOMOing into this trade, but really the game starts when the ETF launches. Because most people are fully allocated. It's not like any of us are sitting with cash on the sidelines, right? So we're all fully allocated. So you have to switch from one to the other. I think people will switch, some of their Bitcoin for ETH to play this trade, but it's the institutional flows. I think the big game in town is going to be what is the narrative that BlackRock comes up with. This is the game. I think it's going to be tokenize the world.
Since cryptocurrencies are becoming more important in the election, more Democrats will vote for them, even though they are not in the same party. Trump is really using the issue to get as many new voters as possible, and it looks like he's succeeding. Some people aren't sure how much of an impact being a pro-crypto candidate will have, but it's clear that cryptocurrency investors are ready to do whatever it takes until politicians realize how bad the situation is. In the meantime, we can look forward to the banana zone, where crypto prices are going to explode hugely. Please tell us what you think about Raoul Pal's interview in the part below. Do you like this video? If so, please subscribe to the channel and turn on post alerts to see more videos like this.